All right, back for another beer review, and today is day 3 of 450 North Week here on the channel. So throughout this week, I am reviewing beers from the 450 North Brewing Company, and they're out of Columbus, Indiana. And today I have their Black Nuggets. So this is a triple IPA. Comes at 11% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in the time of review. This can is just under 2 weeks old. So first things first, give a huge shout out to my buddy Todd for hooking me up with not only this beer, but all of the 450 North beers that I'm reviewing this week. So he's kind of sponsoring this week's theme week. Without him, I wouldn't be able to get my hands on 450 North. He actually sent me a beer mail a couple weeks ago that included 7 different beers, including 5 beers from 450 North. And he suggested I do another theme week, and here we are because it was a great suggestion. So in the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did of the beers that Todd sent my way. So thank you again, Todd. I truly do appreciate it. So I've had quite a few beers in their Nugget series. Now, of the hop forward beers that I've had from them, I've had their Tropic Nuggets, their OJ Nuggets, and their Cryo Citra Nuggets. OJ Nuggets has been my favorite of the bunch, but I'm curious about this one because it is a triple IPA, and triple IPAs are very polarizing to my palate, very hit or miss. For me, I want them to do 2 things. I want them to balance the sweetness and the bitterness, because when you're talking 10, 11, 12% as a triple IPA, a hop forward beer, sometimes they get very cloying. And on top of that, I want them to kind of hide the alcohol a little bit. I'm not saying you have to have a 10 or 11% triple IPA that drinks like a 5%, but if it can drink like more of a 7 or 8%, then that's a win in my books. 2 of my favorite triple IPAs to date come from the other half brewing company, their double dry hopped all green everything, and Hoof Hearted Brewing's Dragon Saddle. Both of those did exactly what I wanted them to do. So I'll be curious to see if 450 North can do the same thing. Now, as far as hops that they're using, on the can here it says Vic Secret, Amarillo, and Mosaic hops. So yeah, can't wait to get into this one, see what it has to offer, just because, like I said, triple IPAs, they're weird for me. Let's see if there's anything else here on here. 11%. Yeah, for maximum freshness, please enjoy this beer soon after purchase. We're totally doing that right now. Give this a crack and see if the carbonation is a bit high. Most of 450 North's carbonation usually quite higher than most, but no, this one seems to be all right. Pouring out fine. Really like the label here, the all black label. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that pours out like a New England-style triple IPA, a very deep honey orange color. I say honey orange for so many beers, but that's what I kind of get out of them. Has about a half finger to a finger of an off-white head. The head's actually dissipating quite a bit, which isn't a surprise at the ABV it's at, but yeah, it looks nice. You know, it's turbid, murky, very hazy. Let's get a nose. Ooh, a lot of sweet, juicy fruit on this one. Getting a little bit of blueberry. Again, they're using Mosaic, but I'm definitely picking up on blueberry. It might be the predominant note as we speak. A little bit of mango, peach and apricot for sure. Definitely stone fruit heavy. A little bit of passion fruit I just picked up on the back end there. Could be that Vic Secret. There is a slight dankness that is kind of just hovering over the entire aroma. But it's not too big. This is all about sweet, juicy fruits. This definitely smells like it's gonna be a sweet beer. Like I said, I hope they're able to balance that sweetness with the bitterness so it doesn't become too cloying. I mean, a lot of times when you get triple IPA and it's too cloying about halfway through a can like this, I'm just like, I'm done. You know, I can't do it. It's too sweet. So hopefully that's not the case here. But man, it smells very vibrant, very bold at 2 weeks. It is, it's screaming juicy fruit. Anyway, I want to get into it. Thanks everybody. And thanks again, Todd. I don't know why. What was I say, Chris? I don't know what's happening. I may be a little hammered. Not really. Anyway, cheers. It's good, but it's sweet. All right, so a couple things. Number one, I'm going to go back for one more sip and then we'll talk. Yeah, first things first, lots of juicy fruit on this one. Definitely peach and apricot, mango, passion fruit. Those characters definitely translate from the nose to the taste. Blueberry gets kind of lost a little bit. There is a nice like resin character throughout the palate and kind of replaces that dank component. And it's omnipresent all the way through. Now, finish is relatively dry. I mean, It's not overly sweet. Here's the thing. There isn't a lot of bitterness to this one that I'm picking up or detecting on my palate. It's sweet through 90% of the palate. Then that dryness kicks in. So it balances off a little bit. But at the same time, it doesn't have much bitterness to balance it out a bit more. So this is kind of leaning towards the sweeter side of things. Not necessarily saying it's cloying, but it's getting to that. It's going to get to that point if I drink this entire can. Body's like higher side of medium body, lower side of full body, so 11%. It's a bit thin, but I've talked about this before in triple IPA and bigger double IPA reviews. I'm okay with that. No issues there. The mouth feels really nice, soft and smooth. Not necessarily creamy, but it does have a nice soft smoothness. There is carbonation here, but it's not, you know, big or in your face or overbearing at any point. It hides the alcohol relatively well. I still detect this as a, you know, a decently big beer. I would probably peg this around 8 or 9%. Closer to 9. It has a big warming going down into the stomach. It's not, let's just say this, being honest, is not blowing me away. It's definitely not in the realm of the other half double dry hop dog green everything or the Dragon Style Ale from Hoof Hearted. But it's not a bad beer. It's actually pretty good. It's just, again, it's, like I said, triple IPAs for me are a strange beast. It's one of those styles that more often than not, I either really dislike them or I really love them. This one is one of those few triple IPAs that is kind of in between. I don't think this is an amazing beer, but I also don't dislike it whatsoever. If we're being honest, let me go back for another sip. If we're being honest, I do like the flavors here. I do think it's a bit too sweet, and I do think the alcohol is a bit too present for me. That said, it's still a good beer. I have no issues with it. I don't think it's like poorly made or anything. I think it's well made. I just think, you know, by the time I'm done with this can, I'm going to be kind of sick of it. But anyway, as far as rating goes for the Black Nuggets from 450 North Brewing Company, I'm going to give that a solid 3.75 out of 5. I was debating that or a 4. I don't think I can give it a 4. I think it's a good beer. I just don't think it's triple IPA for me personally. I could see somebody drinking this and just absolutely loving it, especially if you like sweeter beers. I do like the juicy fruit component to this one. It's a bit too sweet after, you know, I've probably drank 4 or 5 ounces of it so far, and it's just, I can tell it's going to be too sweet for me, and I just wish there was a better balance to this one. Even with the slight alcohol warming and everything, that doesn't even bother me as much. It's just, I think it's just too sweet for me. So I do appreciate you sending this one to me, Todd, and it's really cool to try triple IPAs just to see how they stack up against some of the better ones I've had. And like I said, this one isn't bad whatsoever. It's actually a good beer, but for my palate personally, I definitely want it to be more balanced. Anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by. Until the next one, cheers.